Welcome back, gang. It's Deltia from Deltiasgaming here with a walkthrough of Veteran Mode Red Petal Bastion, one of the newest dungeons in Elder Scrolls Online Waking Flames DLC. Here I'm going to play one of my favorite healer builds, the Necro, what we call the Bone Doctor. I'm going to kind of walk you through, narrate it in a 4-player group with some hard PvE content. Keep in mind, the skills and gear and everything I'm using, I have a separate video along with a separate written guide, link in the description below. But here's what I'm going to be using in case you want to go over it really quick. So this is the build, this is the basics, and let's see how we actually use it and some tips for completing this dungeon and more on this healer or any. Thanks for watching. Here we go, Red Petal Bastion. So we're going to test this out and see how far we can get. I'm going to be healing here, using my Necro healer build. So we're going to be doing the secret bosses and the hard modes. Red Petal Bastion is probably the easier of the two in terms of hard modes and mechanics and so forth. So the number one thing you're going to look out for in doing this is bashes. It's just bash, 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 bash heavy. So even as a healer, I may or may not swap in Crushing Shock from the Destruction Staff skill line. So you have to be flexible in this, and whenever you get to these encounters, what you actually need, because there's times where you're going to have to flex things in and out depending on what's going on. So the basic premise of this is we got some trash pulls to start, and then we'll move into the secret boss encounters, quite easy, and then 3 bosses. So it follows the same kind of format: trash packs, secret bosses, and then the main boss. So during these trash pack pulls, what I'm trying to do is kind of get my muscle memory down with the healing and so forth, and also building up those souls, sucking up souls, getting my ultimate to 500. I want to start any boss encounter with a 500 ultimate if I can. That way I can drop that Saxiel's Champion set, back bar Colo, and get massive, massive burst. So this is the last trash pack here before we get into the secret boss. And we're going to have 3 petals we're going to have to stand on in order to proc a portal. Once we do that, then we can get the secret boss, which will give us a little buff, give us a little bit more resources or damage or whatever, and we'll look at that. And here, I'm going to one of the secret areas. You have to all 3 stand on the pedestal, link in the description below for a full guide. But once you do that, a portal will appear, and then you're going to go down that, kill a secret boss, get the buff, go back to the first boss encounter, which is quite easy. So first secret boss, I am probably not going to use my ultimate here because it's quite easy. But what you need to do is before you click this ability here, this crystal, get your buffs up. So we're going to get our spirit up. We're going to throw an orb out. We're going to get ready to rock and roll. I'm going to put my 2 ground effects. I'm going to put a big old heal spring right there. Rapid. Get my my combat prayer going. And then I'm going to throw my orbs, ground effects, spirit, potion, sucking up souls, combat prayer. So combat prayer and orb is going to be the 2 abilities you're going to have to maintain pretty much. They're the ones that go down the quickest. So they're the ones that priority the 3 key on both bars. That way when I know what my priority is, as soon as I get to my back bar, I usually hit 3 first. It's just a simple thing you can do to set up your bar. So I know 3 is what I want to press first before I go into other abilities and skills. You don't have to think about it as much. So this boss only has 2.6 million HP, not very much. So I'm just going to go through, throw an orb out here, and now I'm going to switch bars as we're taking a little bit more pressure. Combat prayer. And Resto Staff, you can double bar the healing if you need to. So if you're starting out and you don't know and you're not very good at bar swapping, feel free to double bar your main heal. Also, positioning is very key, so getting the practice with this. So you see on my combat prayer, I'm trying to aim it right there so it hits every single player if I can. Throw an orb out. 1, 2, back up, healer in the rear, springs, rapid, and it's just rinse and repeat, using souls when I can to get that 4 key on that resto bar for another heal. And now we have the crystal animagus or whatever the heck it's called, I can't read. But you can see here, increase max magic and stamina by 10%, and you get these spirits that do a little bit healing for you as well. So first secret boss up, this is gonna help you out a lot. So even when you're doing veteran, you can still get these and not do the hard modes. So if you really struggle with veteran versions of this, come down in here and get those secret bosses anyways. You don't have to do them for the hard modes. They will make the hard modes a lot easier. So hard mode over here, we're gonna click this. And it doesn't really add a whole lot of mechanics. It's just a simple rotation. It's very simple mechanics. The thing that will happen here is you're gonna turn into a goat and you have one of 2 options essentially. And one is to basically go to this portal, use a synergy to kind of increase the damage on. Another one is to basically get the resource sustain on the ground. So the main thing here is when you're healing this, is if when you go down as the healer and you're not able to heal, it's kind of important for your DPS to have some sort of healing, off healing or shield or some way to survive. So I got out of position there. And now, see this little goat here? So we're losing the DPS. Now what you want to do there is drop that Colo to start the fight. I didn't. So I'm going to wait for John to return. He's a little goat right now. See this this portal right here? So I'm going to drop my Colo so it hits both of them. If you don't plug that portal up, you're going to get ad after ad after ad. So it's really important that you do that. So I'm going to throw down some healing. I'm going to make sure fully charged heavy attack. I got an effect on me. Big burst heal. I'm gonna throw that down on the ground. Orb out, whole block. So I'm block casting here, bar swap. I'm putting my spring down so it heals everybody at once. See? So combat prayer, keep that resistances up, keep them damage up. I'm gonna go back to this bar, orb, reapply my ground effect AoEs, get out of there because that's bad. I'm gonna position myself behind. 1, 2, and I'm stunned. So I'm stunned, I'm the goat. So you go over these little sweet rolls, nibble, 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 so fun, right? Sick gameplay. And that's all you're doing. And this will give 1 of 3 buffs, I think, to you and your party. So your healer is gonna have to survive when this is up. So I got that, now I'm out of it. So come back to our tank, and I'm gonna top him off with juice. He's probably pretty low. So I'm gonna drop a Colo here on the boss, and it's just more of the same. So getting out of the red, making sure you're here, holding block or block cast, and I'm the goat again. So same thing, here we go, just go around here. And what I'm looking at is for the portal that spawns the bad enemies. So if it comes up, clear in the back, I'm gonna go over there and get that, but it didn't so far. So I'm gonna go do, and we gotta get a res here. Oh, back up. So I'm gonna throw a spear out, or a spear. See, I've been healing on the Templar so long, I can't even think. So we gotta get this out. Combat prayer. And then the braided tether, and then energy orb. Just going through my rotation. See this portal up? This is your #1 problem right here. So 1, 2, I'm gonna drop a Colo here. So I'm gonna try to hit everything with that Colo. Back up for the combat prayer if I can. Orbs out, spirit up. 1, 2, 3, combat prayer. Now we got tons of heals coming in. And I'm stunned. Got out of the stun, we're good to go. Another portal gate up, if you will. And what will take that down is if you're the goat and you can go over there and use the synergy. That's why you kind of have to have your head on a swivel. So I got enough to do another ult here. 1, ground effect, 2, but you can see how much damage that adds. And then combat prayer when I'm at back bar, and I got tons of healing. So I'm not really watching the health bars on my top left screen because I can kind of see people with their health bars turned on. So new healers, you're gonna need to turn them health bars on. I'm telling you, it makes a huge difference visually to know where to go. And I'm stunned here, yay. I'm gonna go the most fun mechanic ever in Elder Scrolls Online. And it's a very long fight because there's so much HP on this guy. So it's just nibble, 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 nibble. And try to communicate when you are this, if you are the healer, because it'll be difficult for your team to survive. Okay, now we got that. And guess what? Nibble, nibble, nibble. I'm back to the goat. I don't know why. It seems like it always selects the healer. So everyone's going to have some self-healing or shields or off-healing. So we got down about 2 million health. I'm just pumping this thing up, hoping it heals my team if it goes. There we go. And now we're in execute. I'm going to drop a Colo here, a 500 stack. So now we're going to really ramp up the DPS. Combat prayer. Fine. Turn me into this. We know what the drill is. So this is my least favorite of the fights so far because it's just basically going around here RNG if you become the GOAT. And not a whole lot of fun, but that's really it. And so the secret bosses will help you getting that up. You are the GOAT achievement unlocked. Very simple fight, not a whole lot of fun in my opinion, but just try to maintain those heals over time, burst those ultimates down, and rotate through your buffs, especially Energy Orb and Combat Prayer make it go a lot faster. All right, boss down, let's keep it moving. Now, more of the same. You're going to clear some trash packs, and you're also going to get to the secret boss Petals, or Petal, Red Petal, Bastion, anyways. So there's 3 levels to this one. Obviously, don't pull if you're the healer, but, you know, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. The first is the main level, up and down. So that's going to be what you're going to do, is clear out these trash poles, build up your ultimate, and you can see here's the first petal you're going to stand on. So there's going to be some trash poles below you want to clear right here, so someone can stand here and not aggro those. And that will give you the 3 to stand on. Will spawn the secret boss, allow you to complete the secret boss and get another needed buff, which is really cool when you hold block. All right, so we activated those 3. Now we're going to move up to the top floor, and that's where the portal spawns to do the secret boss. Another very easy secret boss. Just clear out some ads and trash packs that will fill up the crystal spirit or whatever. And I usually don't use a Warhorn or my Necro alt Colossus on this one because it's just so easy. So I'd typically save it. That way you can get that 500 stack to start the boss fight in an optimal way, and then continue to build up to another 500 stack if you need it. So we're going to click this crystal, ads. The thing that will help you on this one is just a spider. So typically, you know, just chains things in if you can. And remember that as a healer and or DPS, your tank's not going to be able to taunt everything because there is no skill for AoE taunting. Don't panic about that. You're just going to have to take some pressure sometime. That's why I highly recommend at least 22,000 until you're very experienced as a healer. And then you can get away health-wise. And then you can get away with 20,000 using parse food with high resource sustain. But starting out, don't be afraid to stick a little bit of HP. Otherwise, you're going to panic when you get in pressure and that HP is going to drop. So same sort of thing here. Springs down. I'm cocooned up. I'm going to break free out of that. And then 1, 2, 3, bar swap. Put my braided tether, combat, springs, rapid. 1, 2, bar swap. Energy orb. It's really very similar to a DPS rotation. People think the healing's not, but it is. And this is the buff that it gives you. Hold block and does some damage. So it's, on a tank, it's around 2,500 damage a second while you're holding block. It adds up, but it will help you doing some of these fights. And it also gives you increased max health by 10%. So it's kind of helpful. Not super helpful, but something you're going to want to get, especially when you're learning these fights and starting out. Any buff, any increased max health is very, very good. So I'm at 26,000 max health now and 40k max Magicka. So that's good. And I got a 500 stack of ultimate. So we're ready to go after we clear this trash to do this boss fight. And while we're doing this, remember pre-buff. So if you can get your spirit up and you can get your heal over time up, when you start a fight, you'll be much better shape than kind of walking in and then starting the buff. Very basic stuff here, but I catch myself not doing it right. So I'm going to cast my spirit, 1, 2, double tap that. I'm going to combat prayer to get some resistances up. Then I'm going to go throw my orb. See? So very simple rotation, just like a DPS, but if you get the hang of it, and the Necro is quite easy, actually, in terms of doing the rotation, because you have the 3 resto abilities, and they sync up time-wise pretty easily, right? So you got 10 seconds, you got 10 seconds, and 8. So left to right is how I set my bar up, and then the 3 key on both bars is the shortest cooldown, right? So I go combat prayer, bar swat, and then it's about 10 seconds here. I got spirits, suck some souls up, combat prayer. So I know pretty much coming back on my front bar, what I'm going to always cast primarily, unless I need a big burst heal, is combat prayer. That is going to give that minor berserk. Unless people are using specific sets or their specific class that has that buff, that's going to really increase your damage. Not to mention minor resolve, increasing your team's armor. It's just one of the most important buffs to maintain, whatever you're doing, trash packs or boss fights. So let's go ahead and start this. All right, so this boss is going to take a long time and has 2 ads. And it's quite easy to recover from this one, fortunately, but it's just a very long, painful fight. Essentially, they're going to have an archer that spawns that you're going to have to kill, and it's going to come back. And then it's going to have a melee around 60% health for the main boss, and you're going to have to kill it and come back. And at a certain percentage, it's almost like you have to leave the ads alone and just DPS the boss. Otherwise, it's not going to move. So here comes the archer, and let me show you here. So I'm going to make sure, see, it rotates there. So usually I let it rotate once before I drop a colo on it. So I'm going to hit combat prayer for my DPS. I'm going to hit colo and try to get the boss along with the archer down. Throw out a spear, combat prayer, get out of that. And looks like the boss either got aggro or cleaved them. So as a tank, you got to make sure to point the boss and or mob away. Also, that's going to be challenging as a tank because you're going to have to range taunt all these and keep them up. So you're going to have this archer to deal with. You're going to have this other thing to deal with. It's a lot going on. So you still need to maintain aggro on both of the ads and point them away if you can. But it's a lot. So we'll keep it going. So we're at 75% health. So we're just going to kind of hang out here until the other ad comes up. So I'm just going to keep my buffs up, block here, energy orb out. I got so much healing that my health comes right back up. And then spirit up, combat prayer, springs, and then I'm going to use that spirit to get some more healing. And you can see them healing numbers just come up. They're just boom, big heals. Okay, so combat prayer, springs, rapid. It's just like a DPS rotation, really. Now we have one ad up, and it'll be another ad coming soon. So here's the melee at 60%. So now we have both of them up. Now is where it gets tricky and takes forever to do this. So 1, 2, 3, got Colo up, bash. And it's everyone's responsibility to bash that, not just the tank. So the tank's not going to be able to get everything. Block. Combat prayer, and they're all stacked up here. So we can see, and it's very, very tough for a melee. So I'm going to try to rip off some fully charges and put the boneyard and the blockade down at all times on this. Will add a lot of DPS. So I'm holding block here. I'm going to use a potion. Make sure my buffs and my heals over time are rocking and rolling. Yep, there we go. Fully charged. Potion didn't go off. Perfect. Combat prayer. Energy orbs. Orbs is out. And then we're going to throw boneyard down. We're going to throw blockade down. There we go. Dodge or block that. Combat prayer. 1, 2. Healing springs. Energy orbs. Blockade and boneyard. Fully charge Destro. So I'm trying to get that shock to proc. Got that guy off, no problem. I'm going to use my soul for that braided tether with tons and tons of healing. So I got a gazillion healing going on. That's actual number. So I'm going to drop a Colo, see if we can get this ad down. We're doing pretty good on deeps. Block this if you can. That's going to foreshadow the later round boss, which is kind of a pain. Now the bubble comes up, and because the range is up, this is where it gets tricky. You got a melee up. It's really low on gas here, so I'm going to bash this and throw my boneyard down on it. Blockade down on it, and of course it moves. Orb out, and we're going to reapply those buffs. So both of them down. Combat prayer, springs, rapid. Big burst heal on our tank. Pop them up to full, no problem. And then we got the range right here. Orb out, combat prayer. You know what the drill is. So very, very simple rotation. And unless something interrupts that, that's all I'm doing over and over and over is these same exact mechanics. So it's going to rotate over here. Springs. The springs placement is priority on the tank because it's going to give stamina back, assuming they're using sword and board and or an ice staff to block. So now we're at 40%. I feel like I've been fighting this for 15 minutes. Now we got a melee up, hold block until the tank grabs it. So boneyard, blockade, and then boom, Colo. And as soon as I drop a Colo, it moves. So I did not actually get the debuff on it. That was a mistake by my part. So make sure it lets it move first. Otherwise, you're going to drop your high-powered, high gas, high octane. Ultimate is not going to do anything. So mistake on my part, but learn from it. Same thing. Now we're just going to go through a rebuff and rotation. And this is all it is. So you're just kind of maintaining everyone's resources, increasing damage. And then I got plenty of stam to kind of rotate around and get this ad down. But it seems like this one gets pretty glitchy when it gets a little bit lower. And you almost can't damage the ads for some reason. And I don't get if that's working as intended or what, but so let's see. Yeah, John might not be able to come back up because it's right on top. So big burst heal, there we go. Now he's taking a lot of pressure here, our tank is. So I'm gonna put an energy orb on him. The downside of the Necro is your synergy, you have to kind of close in distance to throw that energy orb on him, right? So you have, instead of like a Templar where I got spear and I can just chuck it. All right, so we got DPS down. So I'm gonna just wait a second, try to get this res up. You can pretty much get it pretty easily. Okay, so our DPS is gonna get it. So I just gotta make sure that I'm resing. So I'm gonna get my buffs up, not resing, but I need to make sure that during the res phase, I get the interrupt. See this? That will kill your team if you don't get it. Now we got it, and for whatever reason, it gets buggy at this very last stage, where you pretty much just have to go inside to this portal and DPS the boss. I don't know why, but every time we do it, it does this. So I'm just going to drop the house here. We're going to have to eat all this and just do our best. So same thing, Spirit up, Boneyard. There we go. Orb closing the distance here. Springs right on the tank. I'm going to bash this guy. I have no problem doing that since I got all the gas. And then, like, it just takes very little damage and does a lot of damage to you. Also, the archer needs to be taunted as well, otherwise it'll kill you, just like it did John there. So let me go over here. Our DPS is going to get it. Nice dodge. So I'm going to make sure our tank has gas. And when you're tanking this for the first time, you're going to want to be very independent on resources. So selfish sets if you can at first. So let's see if I can get a res here. 3, 2, 1, come on. I don't have the fast res speed. Springs down. Orb out. So I'm going to go orb our tank here. Throw a springs on him. Get his resistances back up. See that orb coming in right there? No panic. It's okay. And now I got a necro res up pretty soon if I need it. So I'm going to rotate around and just make sure I get this guy. There we go. And 3.5 million health. It seems like we've been here forever. All right, so more of the same here. We're down to 1.5 million health in what seems like a 15-hour fight. And usually it's supposed to go smoother than this, but sometimes it doesn't. So my job here is to make sure this one gets interrupted. So as soon as I see it travel off the boss, I know that it's going for its channel. And so just make sure that you or someone else prioritizes that, or you have crushing shock. And it just takes a very long time to get this down. Do you all see all three of them stacked up here? And thank the maker, we're done with this super annoying fight. All right, so that boss is done. Very long and painful. Now we'll move on to another secret boss room, and we have to basically clear this trash and then hit the pedestals. I think 4 in this room all over, and we'll get to a secret boss, which will give us the final buff in order to face the Prior. And the Prior, before we get there, it's just a very long fight as well. With a bag of HP, you're seeing a theme here, and it's super, super bash intensive. It's going to test your tank and how well they're able to bash and move, and how well you're able to coordinate it as a group. So Crushing Shock, even as me as a healer, I may slot it, because it's legitimately that good for this specific fight. And there's a gazillion ads around. So you're going to have to deal with that too. So it's a lot, but as a healer, I can impact the fight pretty well by maintaining my buffs, and don't just rely on the tank to do the interrupts. It's not the tank's responsibility, it's everyone in the groups. And you're going to see it's going to push you to do that. So let's go find this pedestal here. Here's one you can click on. Shiny, shiny, shiny. And it'll light up the portal in the center of the room when you get all 4. This mini boss here, it's kind of like Lord Warden, actually. It'll shoot out a big purple beam at someone at random. The tank just needs to get in front of it. That's the only mechanic. So if your DPS is high enough, you won't even see that. But in general, that's all you have to worry about this one. Add, stack, and whack, and you'll get your 3rd buff. All right, we're clearing out the trash mobs here. And again, I'm not going to use my 500 stack ultimate, because we're really not in threat here. So don't worry about that. Here it comes out, 2.6 million health, so that's really nothing. It's going to take you very little time to do it. The only mechanic, like I said, you have to be aware of him. He'll give an audio cue when he is pointing at someone else and kind of turn. See how he faces me? So if the tank doesn't get it, I'm dead. So I'm going to actually kind of rotate to the tank since he doesn't know this mechanic. And you can see, don't just wait for the tank to always know what to do. You can position yourself just fine by doing it that way as well. So got it down. That's the only mechanic right here. Boom! Echoes of Death. So we got weapon and spell crit by 10%. Now we got big juicy stats. We're ready for the final boss, and it's a doozy. So as we're approaching the fight, just remember to keep your buffs up pre-fight. It's really good habit to get into, whether you're DPS, healer, or tank, is always pre-buff before the encounter. Sometimes I get lazy and I forget, and I'm like, whatever, it's just an easy fight. But if you get in the habit, this can also translate to PvP as well. Always maintain your buffs, because you never know when action's just about to pop off. A little kip that will help you. And that's the last trash pack. Now we're moving on to the big bad fight. Okay, basic premise here is interrupts a lot. Ads are a problem. There's going to be kicks and AoE. So as a tank, the way I did it was I kind of positioned myself where that torch is. You stack on me. you see this little torch right ahead of you? There's going to be waves and lines, and there's like a sweet spot right here where you can kind of cheese your camera, and you'll find it. You'll probably get hit a couple times, but you can get it where the line will come from this side first, and then it'll come from this side. So you're trying to find that mechanic right here where you can survive. If we get past the wave phase, it comes in times and HP thresholds, but if you can get past the wave phase, if someone dies, you can recover from it. So you really just have to see it, learn the mechanics. It's a lot of ads and so forth. You're going to need to taunt the 2 casters that we've already seen before I forget their name, along with the boss. The other little ones, usually I just change those in and we AoE'd them down. Too long didn't read. Taunt the boss, keep yourself alive, and we'll do the interrupts as best we can, and we'll just give it a go. 17 million health. Let's go. Buckle up. On you when you're ready.
Oh, we've got it active with 17 mil.
Yeah, we got it active with 17 mil. Yeah. So pull it in the center if you can. So first lesson here, cleave. Yeah, do not turn into us. Yep, right there, perfect. So I'm just going around here, just maintaining the buffs, and the separate ads will come, and the other mechanics. So you see the ads. So the ads are up, Relic Fiend are up. Make sure to change those in if you can, or taunt it. Yep, good. Yep, we're rotating. See how he's transiting in the middle? That's a good cue that he's going to do another mechanic here. This is just basically stand away, no big deal here. Ads in the corner. This is what you're going to maintain, and park one of them on top of them. So basically taunt both of them, and then park the boss right on top of them. Perfect. Yep. So we're going to delete this one in the corner, and then we'll go over to you and drop the house. Dropping a nuke on it. Orb out. Bash that. Bash that. Good. Stack and whack the ads. Make sure the boss is taunting and pointing away from us. Here comes the lines. Yep. You ready for the other one to come behind us? Yep, it's coming behind us. Watch your camera. Good.
Ads.
I got this one bashed. Okay, so park the boss on top. Necro Res coming out now. Hit it. Priority, grab the main boss. I'll get the second one here.
Balls.
Just gotta survive this phase. Just gotta survive it. Yep, good, good. Okay, now we're good. Bash that. Yep, point the boss away. Good, we're doing real good. Keep it up. So I'm throwing orbs out, trying to keep my springs down. Keep your camera faced this way so you can. And then we got past the main hard one. So there's going to be another one about 25%. So I'm going to save for a Necro Res. See, I wasn't paying attention there. I almost ruined it for my team. All right, there we go. Orb out. And save up your ultimate and your potions if you can, Rod. For it'll be this. And it's just, oh crap, here in a second.
Becomes a bit of everything now. Ads,
yep.
Stuff under your feet, walls.
Okay, ads in the corner. Make sure to taunt them. I'll stay on this one and interrupt it. I got the interrupt. Oh, you got it? Okay.
I got it.
I'm dropping a nuke on these two. Bash that. I got you. I got you. Good,
yeah,
good.
Bastion is definitely the most important on them ads because they heal the boss a lot. Walls.
Okay, little ads up, not that important. Watch your camera angle. Remember to watch. Yep, yep, yep. Point away.
Big ads, big ads. Bash.
Okay, I'll watch the back ads here. Bash that. Yep, yep.
Walls.
This is it. We got it. Big deeps.
Walls.
Rod, try to get out of there. Come towards me if you can. Come towards me. Yep. You're good. Okay, now point him away. Point him away. All right, big deeps here. Colo on him. Delete.
Blades under your feet.
Good, we got it. Yep, come on. Orb coming out on juice. I got it. Okay, big ads in the back. Park on top of one if you can. Watch for the lines. I'll stay on this one with Sarsis.
Walls.
Yeah.
Sarsis is down. Can you get the, I'll go for the res, John. Oh, we looking 1.5 mil health? Okay.
Oh, Rod, don't do that.
Wall.
You got to point him away, Rod. Point him away. Point him away.
Might be over.
Yeah, I don't know if John gets it.
Yeah, I got it. I can probably get
Colo, go.
Low.
Here, juice, orb coming out.
it. Under your feet.
Blade. Okay.
Boneyard, orb. Boom! Got her down! That's a healer check and a tank check, man. It's so hard. Oh, that was good. Yeah, so the Necro healer works and it's a lot of fun. And I feel it's just as strong, if not stronger than the Templar and many things, which I never thought I'd say out loud. Don't quote me on that or clip it. But shout out to John, Sarsis, and Rod for tanking this. It went really good. Had some deaths, recovered. A lot of fun. Took us about an hour to do all the hard modes and secret bosses. So thanks for watching. The Necro, pick it up. This is how you use it and make it your own and swap in abilities in and out, just depending on what you like and how you work it. Thanks for watching.